Hey everyone, it's Lauren here. I'm going to get some mixed media messiness on. So I've decided on this big 4x4 photo of my boys. I'm just walking behind them. They looked really cute holding hands as they were walking. And then I decided on these little mats that these little cut files. What were they called? Anyway, there was a packet in the kit, so if you want to check out the unboxing video, you'll be able to see what actually they're called and what other designs there were. But we got a packet of them, and I decided I wanted to use these little ones here with the crosshatch because it just reminded me of like mixed media layouts that got all this beautiful texture going on. So when I was looking for paper, I found this one here with this mixed media look on it, and I decided this was going to be the one. So I just cut down that little piece of paper thing with the crosshatch on it and just cut off the edges so that they're all, it's like ripping the paper really, but it's so it doesn't have that neat edge border. I just pulled this one out here to see if that would contrast, but that's not going to work. Instead, I use this star one, and I then, as I was laying it like that, realized I could use it as a stencil. So I've just pulled out some silver texture paste. So this is what I put in my mixed media little stash box to complement the monthly kits. So that's in my prep video if you want to see what kind of mixed media I choose out of my stash to add to this kit, and also why, then that is all in that video. So just putting it through the stencil there. It's just cardboard. It's not like plastic like a normal stencil. So you obviously got to be a little bit careful, but not as careful as, like, you don't have to be careful. Like if you're thinking about paper, probably thinking you have to be really careful, but it's not that delicate. So I'm just having a little play with trying to randomly put it somewhere on the page so that I can put it roughly around my photo and have enough of it seen, thinking that my photo is 4x4 size, and then if I'm going to add any layers, obviously I need a fair bit. So just cleaning up my mat and my spatula, put that star paper to the side and just letting it dry because it will still be able to be usable with that silver dried on it. It'd be something fun, something different. So bringing it back here just to see if it is going to be something to work, and then I turn my page around because the way the mixed media is sitting, it sits a bit nicer to have the photo in this little area where there's no photo, no stenciled, no texture paste. And I'm just going to pull out some papers. These are the Project Life printable cards that I'm just using. That way I don't have to cut in to too much paper. This is the second layout I've made with the kit, so I'm kind of a little bit less willing to cut into it, although I've just used a whole sheet of it as the background, so I can't be that worried about it. Anyway, I'm just roughly having a little play with it, having a few layers of those crosshatch paper so that it's a repeating factor. And I'm just going to put that to the side and then do my layers. But then I thought, oh, what if I get out the Jen Hadfield glitter spray that we got in the kit? So I'm just going to give that a good shake. And then I'm just going to spray it over where the silver stars are. And that just gives it a highlight. And I really like, some people say gold and silver, it's just not right together. But I really like it. It's really fun here, I think. And because the texture paste is a bit glossy and shiny, it didn't like cover all the silver either. It made it sort of like resist it, and so that made a little bit of a difference as well. So working on my layers here, just piling them up, just using double-sided tape to stick it all down, including the crosshatch pieces. So just going to have a play with having things that are a vertical, like bigger vertical design, and then some that are horizontal, like this one, ripping these two so that there's another bit of texture to the layers, and that's just fun. And even this is fun to rip as well. So just having a play with how it all goes together. There's no really rhyme or reason. You can see Just move it around and have a look, and then you work out where you want it. It'll all work out in the end, I figure. Just trying to make sure it's not too big, that you can see enough of everything, but not too much that it, overwhelms or it becomes huge on the page. So I'm just going to continue with this for a little bit. It doesn't take much longer. You don't need horrendous amounts of layering. There we go. And then I try to see if I'm going to back it with that, because it's such a small crosshatch. It's very hard to layer up without it taking away the effect it has when it's one layer. So I don't end up putting it there. It doesn't matter that I cut it, because most likely I'll use it in the same kind of impact as well, having it layered behind a photo like that. And here's where I remember that I kept that star piece that was already texture paste on it to use as a layer. So lucky I remembered, pulling it out, and on it goes. Just cutting it in half so that I don't have too much, but also then I can use the other half for another layout. So just hovering it on my layout to see if the layers are big enough, how it fits in with that mixed media background. And it's looking good, so on it goes. And then I'm just going to have a little play with finishing it. So we can see here the background's looking really good. There's a few of these little off-cut pieces and I didn't want to waste, so I'm just trying to figure out where they're going to go. And this one here is going to layer underneath, flat to the layout. And then I'm going to just continue. I'm going to make sure that everything's tidy. So I've got a lot of these the double-sided tape papers, and then I find this one, so I tuck that in. It's always good to just have a little tidy every now and then to make sure you're not forgetting anything that you pulled out to put on your page, or there's these little pieces here that will just go perfect, otherwise they just get left behind in your kit. And as I'm just going to use those other striped coloured pieces as well to have that layer coming out from the other side. Then that way it's a little trick. It's like you've used you've matted it from left to right, but you haven't wasted paper by putting it underneath behind the photo for the whole length. So yeah. So you can see there, it doesn't take much. It was just that crosshatch paper and the star paper, and then 3 little Project Life cards. 2 were 3x4 and 1 was 4x6, and it just makes the layout, makes all those layers come together really nicely. So just fighting with those stickers, trying to get them on where I need them, where I want them, and just trying to work out which ones I want. So I put this one up here, but then it doesn't take me long, and I move it because I remembered that we had this chipboard pieces in the kit. So I'm going to cover this one with my gold paint pen. Actually, I cover all of them. I originally get this one out, and then once it's dry, I put it on, and then I get out some the other stars, and I'm going to paint them as well. So this is going to go here. It's just a nice little texture grungy look as well, and it just brings in those stars that were in the background for another link. So here's where I pull out the rest of the chipboard stars. I think all of them, or maybe nearly all of them. And then I just have a play with how they're going to sit. And so I usually, if I'm doing like a diagonal design like this, I tend to have all the mixed media behind it in the same direction. But I think it's really cool that the mixed media this time is going, bottom left to top right. But then the embellishments of these stars are going from the top left to the bottom right. So, did I say that right? So the mixed media is from the bottom left to the top right, and the stars are from the top left to the bottom right. Pretty sure. Anyway, you can see what I'm trying to say because you can see what I'm describing. So just have a little play with these stickers, and then I'm just going to add some enamel dots, just in a little, 3. I think enamel dots are nice as a 3 together, but also sometimes it's nice to have, you know, 1 or 2 and then some other kind of little sprinkly thing. But this one I just kept with the enamel dots. I didn't want to take away from all the things that were happening on the page. I just really like the simplicity of that mixed media in the background, and then the chipboard stars that were painted gold as the embellishments. So this is my layout, and hopefully you can see how it all looks in the close-ups that are coming up. Hopefully you're getting stuck into your monthly kit for April from the Kitaholic kits, because they are great. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.